7 days. Countdown begins. Countdown to what? This is still the traditional publishing mindset, so deeply ingrained in my brain that there is something special about April 27th when really it's just another day. A book will come out. No one will read it. The end. Starting the week off right with some writing work and some wind. I was trying to work outside today, but it's so windy. My papers kept blowing away. I finished reading through the first draft of the prequel, and there's a lot of good stuff in there. I'm really excited to dig back into this draft and do some revisions with it. Happy Tuesday. On a Dark Tide releases in 1 week. 7 days. Can you believe that? It's kind of weird to say that because by the time this video comes out, it will be release day. I will be posting this video on April 27th. You'll be watching it on April 27th, and that is the day that On a Dark Tide comes out. I mean, yeah, technically the physical book is on sale at Broadway Books right now, but the ebook, the audiobook, both of those will be releasing next week. So I'm here in the past, trying not to freak out about release day, and you are there on release day in the future. So why don't you open a bottle of champagne with me? Toast. Cheers to doing something new. I'm honestly not sure what I'm going to be doing on release day. I think I'm going to try and keep it chill. That was the whole point of this low-key book launch, was to kind of do things my way and not make a big deal out of releasing a book. I think I will try and do something small to celebrate. I know we have some champagne. Ryan and I will probably open a bottle and cheers to our misadventures. Maybe with the next book I'll do a bigger launch, but this time around I'm pretty excited about keeping it low-key. But of course, I'm still 7 days away from that. I mostly have been doing okay with the anxiety part of things. I'm not feeling too anxious about it. I'm excited, but there are a few things that are making me freak out, usually right before I try and go to sleep. Here's a list of all the stupid things that I'm feeling anxious about surrounding this book release. And by stupid, I mean they're statistically unlikely to happen. I'm not really sure where my brain comes up with this stuff, why it feels the need to make up all these scenarios for me. Things I'm worried might happen on release day. First, I'm worried that people who pre-ordered the ebook won't get it, that something will happen, some weird hitch will take place and the book won't automatically be downloaded onto their Kindle the way it's supposed to be. Or worse, I'm worried that people who buy the ebook will get it on release day, but when they open it, all the pages are blank. There's just nothing in there. Or it's an early draft, not something that I would be proud of sharing, not something that's ready for public consumption. There's no real way this could happen. I double and triple checked everything, double checked the file that I was uploading to the distributor. It's the right file. So unless they were like breaking into my computer and getting the other older drafts, there's no way that it could be the wrong file. I'm also afraid this is going to happen with the audiobook, that people are going to buy it and go to listen to it and it's just going to be like blank air or static or just really bad quality, like I'm talking from a toilet or something. Or I'm worried that the chapters will be messed up, that chapter 12 will be where chapter 1's supposed to be, and chapter 1 is going to be where chapter 34 is going to be, and it's just going to be this jumbled mess and no one's going to be able to understand the story at all. Also, when Ryan was mastering the audiobook files for me, he got a little bored and he played around and did some cuts. He made this little clip where it sounds like I'm rapping. He also made some dirty limericks just from my voice. And I'm worried those clips somehow got into the audio files and that some stranger is going to rage email me because I kept saying something about butts. Now, I know part of this anxiety is coming from the fact that I don't have a team of people or an editor double checking, triple checking my work. It's just me double checking everything, and I'm only human. Of course, I'm going to make mistakes. This is also the first time that I'm doing this, and so I'm not really sure I'm doing it right. I kind of think I am. I'm pretending I am, but honestly, like, no one's over here patting me on the back saying, good job, you're doing it right, keep going, you're doing the right thing, yay, you did it. So I know that's where some of my anxiety is coming from. And honestly, everything has been kind of relatively smooth sailing so far, and I'm worried I'm doing something wrong, like I forgot something major and release day is going to happen, and again I'm going to get a rage email from some strangers saying I did the whole thing wrong and I have to start over. Clearly, you could tell I'm anxious about rage emails. I don't get them very often, but when I do, they stick with me. So kind of in conjunction with that, the last thing that I'm feeling really anxious about is that someone's gonna come to my door and tell me that I can't do this, that I've done something wrong, that I didn't have permission to do this, and I'm just worried that they're gonna, like, I don't know, take all my books? No one gave me permission to publish this book. I gave myself permission. Ryan said we could do it, but my past 2 release day experiences came after a publisher tapped me with their magical publishing wand and said that I could publish a book. And now I'm just out here on my little boat all alone. Not entirely alone, but there's no publisher backing me. There's no one who told me that this was okay. No one's giving me permission except myself, and I don't know why, but giving my own self permission doesn't feel like quite enough. So I'm just, you know, freaking out that someone's gonna come banging down my door and take me to publishing jail, I guess. Is that a place? Do people go there? Why am I telling you all of my deep-seated anxieties here? I think partly because talking about it helps me feel less anxious. Hearing it out loud makes me realize how ridiculous I sound and how silly it is to feel anxious about some of these things. It helps me understand really where my anxiety is coming from, which is a deep sense of insecurity, of feeling like a fraud, of doing this for the first time and not really feeling very sure of myself or very sure of what I'm doing. I know that for me, doing new things really flares up my anxiety, and so kind of talking about it in this way, being like, look at these ridiculous things I think are going to happen, helps me feel less anxious. So thanks for listening. I know a lot of these anxieties don't really have any merit. They're just my overactive brain imagining every possible worst case scenario so that I can come up with a plan for how to defeat it. My brain sees dragons where there's only a puff of smoke. My brain is really trying to be helpful, but dear brain, please stop. Go do something productive. Use all this energy to go plot us a new book, okay? So yeah, 7 days, ready or not. We'll see whether any of this actually works. If all else fails, I know the physical books are fine. Put them in the back of my trunk and drive around and hand deliver them to people. This afternoon I'm going on a hike with my sister, and that's what I'm doing for today. Wednesday, and I have spent most of the morning working on revising my prequel, or rather making a revision plan for the prequel. I sat down with Scrivener and did a new outline for draft 2, kind of rearranged a few of the scenes and put in some new scenes that need to happen in order to make the plot and the pacing work. So I'm getting excited to get back to this. You know, I'm 6 days away from release at this point, and I'm just ready to get back to writing. I have checked off all of my must-do tasks on my whiteboard, and I have checked off pretty much all my probably-will-do tasks on the whiteboard. The only thing I haven't really gotten around to yet is setting up direct sales on the website. I did delegate that to Ryan, so at some point I think it'll get done. I think it'll be good to have in the future. Everything's ready to go. I'm just kind of biding my time here. Time to get back to the real work, the writing. Yesterday, I got an email from ACX, which is the Audible audiobook distributor, and On a Dark Tide is now available on Audible. I didn't think it was going to happen, but they came through just in the nick of time. 1 week before release, the audiobook is available, so hurrah! I think all my ducks are in a row. I do need to make some social media posts. I keep kind of dragging my feet on that because I'd rather write. So there are a few little social media things I'm gonna do, but kind of all this extra stuff can also be done after the book comes out. It doesn't have to all be done right now before the book comes out. So I think I'm gonna be shifting my focus this week and getting back to a more regular writing routine. Normally, I write in the mornings for about 4 hours. Sometimes I'll extend it into the afternoons, but I think for right now, I'm going to be doing my regular 4-hour writing routine in the morning, and then in the afternoon, that'll be a good time to work on marketing and promoting and getting the word out about On a Dark Tide and just kind of continuing to build on what I've already done. Yeah, I'm getting excited about the release. Mostly just so that I can start thinking about another book and kind of put this one on the back burner. I'm ready to write something new. Let's go. Happy Thursday. Another day closer to release day, and I am not thinking about release day. I spent all morning writing. I am working on revising the prequel for On a Dark Tide. So Brett Buchanan is the main protagonist in On a Dark Tide. She's a detective who's new to this police force in Crestwood, Washington, which is a made-up town. She's trying to fit in there. She's taking care of her grandma, and she's also trying to find out who killed her sister 20 years before the book starts. Brett has a reporter friend named Jimmy, and the prequel is told from Jimmy's point of view. It takes place several years before On a Dark Tide when Brett and Jimmy first met. This is my first time working on a series, and it's been fun to revisit these characters again in kind of different scenarios, different situations, from different protagonists' points of view. I'm having a lot of fun writing Jimmy's personality. We only kind of get a glimpse of him in On a Dark Tide, so it's been really fun to be working on this prequel and working on his story. So what I'm working on right now is draft 2. I'm working off of an outline, and I have about 19 scenes that I need to finish revising. This book is going to be not a book, not a full-length novel, but a novella around 30 to 40,000 words, which is about half of what a novel usually is. I would love to be able to finish the second draft in about 3 weeks. We'll see if I can do that. I would have to do about 2 scenes a day, a little more than a scene and a half, I think, to finish in 3 weeks. Today I only revised 1 scene, but I was having a little trouble getting focused and settled, which happens a lot when I take a long break from writing. I haven't written anything in about 3 to 4 weeks, so it'll take me a little bit to get settled back into the swing of things, but once I do, I should be able to move along pretty quickly. A lot of draft 1 is usable, so a lot of it's just going to be revising. There are a couple scenes that I'll need to rewrite, and 1 or 2 that are going to be brand new scenes, but most of it's just going to be cutting and pasting and then tightening the prose and tightening the pacing a little bit. So that's what I'm doing with my mornings. Now I'm writing. And then this afternoon, I'm going to be working again on social media posts, trying to get some more content marketing stuff done. I don't know if any of it sells books, but it's good to get the image in front of people, I think, so I'm going to work on some of that. I might also do a little research this afternoon on Amazon and Facebook ads, because that's something I want to play with in a couple of weeks and kind of mess around with that and see if I can get any traction that way. I don't know. I think that's going to be a really slow, long process, a learning curve of how to do ads. That's not necessarily going to be in my wheelhouse, but I would like to try and see if I can come up with something. See if it's something I can learn and maybe grow and get better at. 2 other things I want to try and get done this afternoon. I want to prep my release day newsletter. It's going to be pretty short, so that shouldn't take too long. And then I also want to publish the paperback on Amazon. That has not yet been done. I've been kind of waiting until we get closer to the actual release date, so I'm going to do that today, I hope. I tried to do it earlier, but Amazon was doing some maintenance on their website, so I have to wait for them to be done there. Everything is ready to go. The document is uploaded. The metadata is there. I just basically need to confirm the price that I want to sell it at and hit publish. And then it'll take a couple days, I think, for their system to upload it. And then I don't know. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes back there. I just cross my fingers and hope it works.
Done. Now they just have to review it, make sure it meets the guidelines for book details, content, and quality. Basically, they need to make sure that all the letters are within the margins, and also that I didn't plagiarize and copy somebody else's work, which I definitely did not.
Happy Friday. I spent most of today just in my writing cave working on the revisions for the prequel, trying to kind of get into the swing of writing again. I didn't quite get a scene done today. I did about half a scene. It was a brand new scene that I was writing, so it took a little bit more time to get into the flow and to kind of figure out what I wanted to do with the scene and how I wanted it to work out. The afternoon I just spent working on some social media stuff and getting a release day newsletter prepped and ready to go out so that I don't have to worry about it on Tuesday. I'm going to take the weekend off. I think it's going to be rainy, so I think I'm just going to cuddle up with some good books and just kind of relax and enjoy the weekend. But before I wrap up this video, I want to leave you with the 3 takeaways from, what is this, week 3 of my low-key book launch series? Week 3, 3 takeaways. So the first takeaway for week 3, the faster that I can get back to writing, the better. I know I haven't done everything I could possibly do to help launch and sell and promote and market On a Dark Tide, but you know what? I did a lot. I did what I wanted to do. I tried my best. And at some point, selling your own book just becomes an exercise in futility. It's time to let the book go and start working on something new. The good news is that writing makes me feel good. It makes me happy. It's my first true love. It's really what I want to be doing with my life. And writing just feels like coming home. So I'm happy to be moving from the marketing side back to the writing side. Although I will try to balance both, but priority is writing. Getting back to work on this prequel, it's just been really nice to have something new to focus on so that I'm not worried about the numbers or if On a Dark Tide is selling or not, or whether or not anyone's gonna read it. It's just really nice to be able to be thinking forward again rather than feeling stuck. Which brings me to takeaway number 2, something that I am constantly having to remind myself about. Growing an audience, finding readers, building a backlist, making content that people want to come back to, all of this takes time. All of this takes effort. Sometimes it's luck that pushes that snowball over the top of the hill. Sometimes it's just persistent and continuing to show up and continuing to try your best and continuing to make things and put them out in the world. It can be hard to feel like your efforts aren't paying off in any kind of meaningful way. You don't see those numbers going up, you don't see sales coming in, which is why I think it's important to only do things that you're having fun doing and to do things that make sense for you even if they may not make you a profit. This is especially true when you're first starting out, because it is a lot of luck and timing and sustained effort and energy, and it can be easy to burn yourself out on all the things you could be doing to help yourself or move your career forward. And sometimes there's nothing really that you can do except write new work, which brings me back to takeaway number 1. Get back to writing as fast as you can, especially if you're writing fiction, because honestly, I think for fiction writers, what your readers want is more fiction. So when in doubt, get back to writing. The third takeaway is to put the champagne in the fridge early so that it's cold when you're ready to pour yourself a glass. This is not champagne, this is sparkling water, because I forgot to put the champagne in the fridge. I want to thank you all for coming along with me on this low-key book lunch series. I hope you found it enlightening. I'm not finished yet. On a Dark Tide comes out today. As you're watching this, the book is available. You can buy it and read it or listen to it. You can leave a review, you can tell your friends about it. I would love it if you did one or all of these things. So this book is out today, but I'm not done with my low-key book launch series. I will be doing one more vlog style video for release week showing you kind of the behind the scenes of a book actually releasing. And then the second half of the series, the next 4 videos, will be less of a vlog and more focused in on specific subjects. What I'm glad I did, what I wish I hadn't done, what I want to do next time, what I would never do again, things like that. The good, the bad, you know, all of that. Kind of the differences between traditional release day and self-published release day. If anything moved the needle on book sales. They will probably be shorter videos and focused in on the lessons I learned during my low-key book launch and the things that I will take with me into my next book launch. So if you have any questions or topics you want me to talk about, leave it in the comments or shoot me an email. I'll see all of you bookworms on Friday for a reading-related video that I'm pretty excited about. It's going to be my April book haul and wrap-up, so come back for that if you like books. And then I'll be back next Tuesday with another video to let you know how release week went for me. And now future me is going to open a bottle of real champagne and celebrate all of the hard work that I have put into over the past 3 years writing, editing, and publishing On a Dark Tide. Feel free to pour your own favorite bubbly and celebrate with me.